chairman of the board of directors, Leon Russell, who's not here. He made an interesting comment during our last board meeting. When someone asked the question, he said, "Oh, let's be clear, this is not your granddaddy's NAACP. This is a new direction for us, to have a fashion show to celebrate Black excellence in the fashion industry. Something that we have not done. And we recognize that we set culture not for only our community, we set culture for the globe. We must also patronize.
Yes.
We also must patronize, and in that, we have set up a pop-up shop in Hollywood and Highland, an Ovation, where we have many vendors from not only in LA, but across the country who set up just across the street so you can see the beauty of who we are and the culture that we're setting through the fashion industry. And finally, I want to thank all of the nominees who submitted yourself to be judged by our community. That's not an easy thing. We work hard. We present ourselves through our voice podcast. We present ourselves through our voice music. We present ourselves on the screen, both in front and behind the screen. We present ourselves in literature. And we present ourselves not only for the consumers, but for the image awards. We present ourselves to be judged. And none of us want to be rejected. So I want to thank all of the nominees who thought enough of the NAACP, enough of our culture to submit yourself to be considered for all of America, Black America, and all those who voted to say you are the best of the best. And the fact that you were the nominee, you won. The fact you created the imagery and the voice, we won. Because we are a diverse, a dynamic people with many stories to tell, many talents to give, and an opportunity to really forge ahead in a way that we can see ourselves for the future, defined by us, made by us, and not by someone else based on the past. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to sit right there next to my beautiful wife in the orange pants, and I'm going to be cheering as the fashion models come out, and hope you don't say, let's buy that, because I can't buy that, but I'm going to be cheered all along. Thank you all very much. And now, the Vice Chair of our National Board of Directors and the Chairman of the Image Board Committee, let's give it up for Karen Borkins-Town.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Colors Behind the Look, a celebration of fashion, costume, design, and glam. My name is Karen Boykin-Towns, and I'm honored to serve as Vice Chair of the NAACP National Board of Directors and Chairman of the Image Awards Committee. We are so pleased that you could join us this afternoon to celebrate Black excellence. Today we are here to celebrate the world of fashion and to honor our 2022 Vanguard Award for Costume Design recipient, the amazing Ruth Carter. Yes, everyone, please give a round of applause and stand for our 2022 Vanguard Award recipient, the Ruth Carter.
Ruth E. Carter has wowed audiences with her magnificent costume designs and attention to detail.
Thank you, NAACP. Wonderful. Well, you know I got you, right? It's wonderful to stand here on the shoulders, and I say on the shoulders of many, many people who have come before us of color, who have dressed presidents, who have dressed abolitionists, and who have dressed all that NAACP stands for. Those women didn't dare to call themselves costume designers, but they were. They were costume designers. They were our aunties who didn't have a sewing machine in their house as they grew up. Those women were the forebearers of what I learned and what I saw as a child coming up into this industry. So thank you, NAACP. Thank you, the Dora Milaje of NAACP. Let's give those women a round of applause for all that they do. And to introduce this category of costume design is actually honoring a legacy of people who were instrumental in designing our Afro future. You know, the Dora Milaje are the highest ranking female fighting force in Wakanda. And they are not sexualized. We dress them to have empowered clothing. We dress them to have their bodies fully clothed. We dress them for you to take them seriously because they protected the king of Wakanda. So these women are protecting the king and the NAACP. So I'm actually really, my heart is so warm and so open to this honor of opening up this category. I used to always wonder why the NAACP Image Awards weren't bringing us from behind the camera to the front of the camera. And we actually are working it out for them actors back behind closed doors. You don't know what we go through. We are image makers. We are image makers, and we are a force to be reckoned with. And I have my fellow colleagues here, Angela Dean. I see Kevin Hall. Fun fact, I did wear a black designer to the Oscars. It was Be Michael America. That was important to me. It was important for representation. And thank you, everyone, for this great honor for today. And I appreciate you. I just work hard. I'm a hard-working costume designer. That's what I am. Everyone, let's give another round of applause for Miss Ruth Carter.
So now it's the time that all of you and myself have been waiting for. I am extremely excited to present 5 designers that are moving the culture forward, representing and blazing a trail of their own. And if you see any looks that you have to have, they are right up there for sale. So you can support any of the designers. If you see a must-have, guess what? You can have it for a small fee. Go right up there and let's support our Black designers. So, beautiful Black people, I present the Colors Behind the Look fashion show.
My name is Kadeem Pilgrim. I am the Director of Marketing for Cross Colors. So Cross Colors was founded by TJ Walker and Carl Jones in 1989. Cross Colors has always found its inspiration from the youth. In the very beginning, back in 1989, when Carl and TJ were coming up with the concept for Cross Colors, they actually took a trip to New York and they rode the subways literally from Brooklyn to Harlem, and they would just watch the kids interacting on the trains, and they were inspired by the oversized clothing and the bright colors, and they took all that, brought it back to LA, and Cross Colors became a thing. Some of the celebrities that have worn Cross Colors include Will Smith, TLC, SWV, Belle Biv DeVoe, Rihanna, Billie Eilish, Tupac, the list kind of goes on. Well, if you are interested in purchasing Cross Colors, you can always find us at Nordstrom, Foot Locker, Zoomies, Champs, or you can go straight to the source at crosscolors.com.
My name is Epperson. Well, when I was younger, I used to have pictures on my wall. Fashion Fair, Ebony Fashion, all of those, and plaster them all over my walls. And then that was this, I don't know what that was about. And then when I got into high school, I wanted to get to know this girl that was taking a fashion design class. And I said, in order to get to know her, I'll take this class. So I took the class. Didn't work out with the girl, but I ended up being like popular in school and really enjoying what I was doing. When designing a new collection, each season it's totally different. It varies. It really depends on the time that we're living in, what's happening around us. Like my latest collection is basically, it was during the pandemic, so that whole feeling was, sort of like so much darkness at the beginning of it, but then we were coming through it and it became light. So it was like a new beginning. Celebrities that worn my clothing and wear my clothing. Erykah Badu is one of my main celebrities that wore my clothing, like the patchwork and the strings hanging off and the big head wraps. Ciara, I did design for Ciara. Like whenever you see chains falling over her, and baggy. She was like, we did a lot of cargo pants with her. Patti LaBelle, I made something for her. Aretha Franklin, I made it just for Aretha Franklin. My newest friend is Lisa Fisher. She's amazing. Like, I didn't even know who she was. She became a client over the pandemic. So once I posted Lisa Fisher wearing my clothing at the Blue Note, she was performing, posted on my Instagram. They're like, oh my God, you're working with Lisa Fisher. Oh my God, she's amazing. And so I Googled her. And once I did that, I was like, oh, she is big. My clothing can be purchased online, eppersonstudio.com, or presently at Art to Wear. It's a clothing store in the Port Authority in New York.
My name is Byron Lars, and I'm the designer of In Earnest. I think the thing that inspired me most to become a fashion designer was when I wanted to earn a little money in high school. Made a prom dress for a classmate. Never studied fashion or anything, just like kind of made the pattern with newspaper and everything. And I thought, make some money and it'll be great. But what really resonated with me, she was an upperclassman, thinking about the experience she was having and something that like I made with my own hands, that was super empowering. Knowing that this was a really important moment in her life and I played a part of it. So it still drives me to this day. The thing that inspires me each season when I'm designing a new collection is primarily my girl. That is my woman that I designed for, but she's my girl. What she might be looking for next, what I might be able to present to her that she doesn't even know that she's looking for or desiring. I never let her out of my sights when I'm creating this collection. My design process. I guess I would have to sum it up in a nutshell, being quiet enough to hear God's voice tell you what you should be making. I think that's what creativity is. That's what creation is. It's really like you as a conduit, not as the creator. Some of the celebrities that have worn my clothes, I guess the most notable of which is Michelle Obama. It's like, fanboyed out on her because that was awesome. Angela Bassett, Taylor Swift, Natalie Portman, Gabrielle Union. You can find our collection at inearnestofficial.com. We're in all sorts of other retailers, specialty store retailers, but come there, we'll tell you where to go in your town.
My name is Isaiah Hemingway. What inspired me to become a fashion designer was really my early days in Detroit. My father was a pastor, so just seeing the colorful clothing every single Sunday, people dress up, especially in Detroit, with red, pink, and greens, it inspired me to actually hey, I want to go into fashion. What inspires me each season when designing a new collection is really my personal mood and how I feel at the time. So I kind of see what's going on the street, what people are wearing, and then I come up with concepts based upon how I feel, what people need. My design process, first, once I have the mood set, what I want to do for the season, I actually go to art galleries and I get inspiration from different contemporary art, and I get an idea of what colors I want to use for that season. With the consultant part of my business, I've been able to dress Oprah, Kerry Washington, and Tiffany Haddish. You can purchase my collection at ihemingway.com, Maison Black, and also by private appointment. I do bespoke clothing and apparel as well.
My name is Kevin Hall. I was inspired to become a fashion designer just as a kid watching old movies, watching the Sonny and Cher show, watching the Ed Sullivan show, and all these incredible celebrities and stars coming on television looking amazing. And I would reimagine what I'd like to see them wearing. So I would sit with sketch pad in hand and rethink their costumes and rethink their outfits. So every season as I'm designing a new collection, I'm thinking, about what is going to be beautiful, what's going to resonate with my clientele, but also just kind of searching the world for, inspiration like the sea, architecture, just anything that inspires me at that moment is what I'll put into a collection. So my design process is basically coming up with that theme. And then once I've come up with that theme, I begin to look for fabrics, I begin to develop embroideries, I begin to sketch. And in the course of sketching, I may sketch, 100, 150 sketches. And then we start to begin to narrow those sketches down to see what actually is going to live in the collection. The collection is then, given to sample makers or given to pattern makers. And that's when we start to begin really to see the beauty and begin to see the clothes come to life. Because once you see something on a model, you begin to see, whether the sleeve needs to be fuller, whether the dress needs to be shorter. It's all those nuances and all those elements that really make the dress and make the suit and make those pieces come to life. The celebrities that have worn my clothes, I've dressed some incredible women. I've dressed Vanessa Williams, who's one of my favorites to dress. I love Vanessa because basically she understands fashion and she doesn't feel like everything has to be overfit and over tight. It's about a silhouette, it's about a look and a whole kind of mood of something. Sharon Stone, Halle Berry, Michelle Obama, Whitney Houston, back in the day, just some incredible, beautiful, beautiful women. You can find my collection online at kevinhalldesigns.com. We have a special collection that we're doing exclusively for Saks Off Fifth, and that's a really well-priced collection. Saks Off Fifth online and also Saks Off Fifth in stores.
Probably.